Hello and welcome. So today let's discuss the whole idea about careers and certifications and of course programming languages. So I have a website here that kind of, got a list of things, It's not something that I need to click on. We can just, take the names. But I also want to bring up the idea of that many security interested people, they tend to fall down to the question of, do I need to learn a programming language? And then they also need to pick one, and that's really good. I'm not gonna go down that step of that road because there's so many videos on YouTube talking about this topic, but I want to talk about that, what benefits learning a programming language can be to you if you are in security. So let's start with that just to get it out of the way. Now, let's assume you're going to do something in security. Now, depending on the role you have, you could either be technical or non-technical or something in between. If you are non-technical, you don't really need to learn any programming language. I would just do what you do. You're probably working with some ISO standards or NIST standards, or you're creating policies. Who knows what you're doing? So many things. But if you are technical or in between, the programming language you learn, or the languages you learn, can help you a lot. You can benefit a lot from that by the whole idea of automating stuff for you, or automating, sorry. So if you automate something, it can be easier for you to fulfill the task. Now, what could that be? Now, of course, for something like a penetration tester or someone that tries to, test the security of some in-house built some software, something, it could be very beneficial to have a lot of automated tests just running all the typical things you always need to do. And I have no list of that because that is very specific, but it could be something like running a port scan. It could be like always running an nmap scan with standard scripts, standard versions, and then check the output. It could be something like always do these 5 SQL injection attacks, or different things. It just usually is what you see. So if you have the means of analyzing the log files at your company before you create these kind of automations, then you can create them even more valuable to you or your company, because you can test more stuff. So learning a programming language, apart from that, the whole computer is built from a programming language. Nothing is not programming. Everything is programming. So just understanding that, it makes you understand a lot more. Now, of course, if you learn something like Python, it's a really good language. Don't get me wrong. It just doesn't give you that oomph of knowledge that learning something like C programming, or maybe even C# or Java or something like that, because it's a bit more close to the computer, if you understand what I mean. Learning something like Python makes you more like data scientist way. It gives you a really good idea of how you can structure some processes and call things and filter things and open things really fast, but you will not really feel that you're programming the same way. Now, I know some of you might disagree, which is perfectly okay. The world will only get better as long as we keep disagreeing with each other, because then we can challenge each other's knowledge. That is the whole key of knowledge. So, understanding how computers work are just better that way. It's just the way to go. So really try and learn a programming language. That is a really good idea. But you don't have to do that. You can, of course, rely on tools and knowing just some commands for the Linux terminal, or some PowerShell for Windows terminals and stuff like that, but you will miss out on some things, and you will find out if you do it and go down that road. Because it's very difficult to say, What will you miss out on? It is the same if you talk to a meat eater and a vegan, right? And the meat eater tell the vegan, but you don't know what you're missing. That's a classical sentence for meat eaters to say. The vegan might say the same to the meat eater, but the problem is that the meat eater would be able to test everything and taste everything, and the vegan will not. So you really have to try and embrace the fact that, you know, learning something new as a programming language is not a bad idea. And I have a really big fly in the house. Interesting. Alright, so I think for programming languages, this is my recommendation. You know, learn it, pick something interesting. I did gather a list here. I just pasted into the... So I would either go with something like Java. You know, JavaScript is really good to learn because it's browser based. So that is always something you can learn extra. So if you're doing web penetration testing, that is really good. Python, of course, is not bad. SQL is really good for web testers, and PHP and PowerShell and all these other kind of C, of course, as the primer. So if you want to learn something and pick one thing to learn, I would go with... That's a hard choice because pick one thing and what will benefit you most in the security topic. Now, I think I would go ahead and learn Java. Because if you can do Java, you can do JavaScript, you can do PHP, you can do Python. Is gonna be easy anyways. It's close to the C syntax, so that's just a bit harder C than Java. But and then again, PowerShell also reminds you just like Microsoft stuff. So that's the way, I guess. So let's go ahead and talk about careers. There's so many different kind of careers to choose from, and I must say that where I'm from in Denmark, it's not a thing to have a whole list of all. This is very atypical. What I usually see is a security analyst title. I also have something like forensics, but it's very uncommon to just, you know, there's not that many jobs in forensics, you know. You can kind of learn for a company, but usually you start as security analyst, or let me see if I can find something that makes a bit more. Also the DPO, the data protection officer, is very normal, and network administrator. That's the three titles that I usually see when I go ahead and look at the job market. So if that is the three titles, what about all the other roles? They do exist, of course. So security engineer is something that, you know, I don't know if it's probably not that Danish. Maybe that is just a thing. But, you know, we do have it. It's just not something you see a lot. Of course, there are security administrators. It's just an administrator that also does security. So it's not really a title, that is a job thing. What we're gonna try and do more of in the future, at least what I hope to do, and also what I do in my teaching, is that we implement security in everything. Everyone have to know something about security. Now, I'm not saying that everyone should be programmers and know the ISO standards and stuff like that. Not at all. I'm just saying that, you know, people that works in the administration, they do what? They use the email a lot every day. So they of course need to know about phishing stuff, and need to know about what is ransomware attack and how does it look, and how to kind of react to a hacker attack, or, you know, maybe already hacked. How would you a breach? You know, how would you react to that? That might be not a bad idea for everyone to have that works with email. And then you can continue down on the road. What about a leader? What should they have? Well, leaders are usually very managing and not at all technical, but sometimes they are. But their roles dictate in the company what they need to do and how much security they should embrace. So if they say it's like a CEO or like a leader, some sort of boss, we're gonna say. So it's all about money and business plans and stuff like that. They also need to know about this phishing stuff and email stuff, but they also need to know about something called fraud, you know, and also need to know something about how to spot an imposter, you know, that different kind of things. So that's small modules. I know if this was rolling out as a wave of we all have to know kind of things in security, the world would just be a lot better place security-wise. But it would also cost billions of whatever currency you have, dollars, just to say something, in order to make it so. So it's a thing. It's something you need to figure out. You know, what kind of roles you are, what kind of career you're going into. So without just talking about all these kind of roles and stuff like that, you should maybe actually just this. Computer programming is an elementary building block of computer science. Computer science is the foundation of computer security. Yes, that is very true. So just by saying that, you know, I think we have it all, and we can just end the video and boom. But you know, there's so many good links on this side. You know, maybe I should just leave this link in my video. You can just say 101 security. What is this? Let's open that. And it all stays in this cybersecurityguide.org, and maybe it's not bad, you know, maybe this is a really good website. I haven't really looked at it, and it does look like that it talks about different kind of things that could be used. And now that I come to see it, I recommend this site now because it's not bad. It's actually really good. A what? A women's guide? Is that a thing? Guide for women. I must be honest, I'm not really sure what this is all about. Is it a man guide too? I think it's just a joke. I don't know, you know. It's not. Let's just not judge anyone, but I guess there is a reason for this. Oh, so yeah, okay. So there's something about closing the gap and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe this is just pure valid. Just you know, in today's politics and stuff, you know, one should probably not exclude anyone. You know, everyone is a part of security. Anyways, I think this is a really good website, and I just think, okay, so security clearance guide, you know, that's also a really good thing. You just go ahead and read about security clearance and these kind of things. And if you read all these kind of informations, you learn stuff and you understand stuff better. But what I really want to talk about is these kind of careers and the program languages. You can also go ahead and look at the certifications. And this is another thing that I would also like to talk about. This video is just gonna be like a this and that and a few things. So I hope you really can use it for something. Now, if you're gonna do a certification, I think that you know, if watching this list here, you know, I would probably go with the CISP or the CISM. I think the CISM is the one that is a bit more management and not technical at all. Yes. Yeah, information security manager, yes, and the CISP is the bigger one, and it's the security system professionals, yes. So I would probably pick one of these two. I did take the CEH, and I guess many of you probably go ahead with a certified ethical hacker. You know, it's cheap, it's okay. I had the book, I did the exam, it was boring. I don't think this is a really good certification if you ask me, but there are companies in the United States that probably have the, you know, the act for this. Then they got the Security Plus, isn't this CompTIA, what is it called? CompTIA, yes, there we go. So they offer different kind of certifications. You also have the OSCP. I would personally, if I were going to do with some pen test guide, I would do OSCP. But I'm not really planning on doing any sort of certifications at the moment, but I might do that in the future. I think until now, I just focused on sharing stuff on my YouTube channel, you know, commenting on things like this, and try to give you my perspective. You are, of course, totally. You make up your own mind. This is what I want to say. You know, what do you want to do? Choose that road and go down that road. No matter what I say about there's not that many jobs in pen testing, and that's how, you know, don't. I wouldn't say disregard it totally, but just have it in the back of your head. You know, it's just thinking, all right, maybe there's not that many jobs, but I need one. I want to be a pen tester. Then go for it. Get the certifications. All you can do try hack me. Do hack the bug. Do Pico CTF. Do these paid exams. You know, do SANS courses. Do everything. They're gonna cost a lot of money, but you know, if you really want to do it, go down the road and do it all the way. Then of course you will hit the job and you will get it. So yeah. Now I'm gonna end the video now. It's 16 minutes, and I figure you probably got something to think about now. And from the looks of it, you know, there's a bright future in security. At the moment, it is. I don't know how long that moment will be, but probably not 1,000 years, but probably forever. So let's hope that. So just want to say until next time, have a really good day, and I gotta see you again. Bye.